Welcome, everybody. Today is day number 75. Unbelievable. I just need to put that on a clip and say it back and forth every time. Unbelievable. We are going to cook it tonight, folks, because I have so much to bring clarity to for you guys today. Of course, I also have an update on a major thing that we're doing in our humanitarian aid coverage, and that is the purchase of a new vehicle so that we can keep transporting equipment, supplies, both on the humanitarian side and also on the military side. We do have an update on that, and you're going to hear it in just a moment. Now, let me give some hellos here. JDO, God bless you. Putin's speech was a nothing burger. I agree. To a point. Show you in a minute. Chuck Pinkham, San Jose, California, God bless you. Welcome to the program. Lynn Fireball, Harold, God bless you. Rainwater Games, Russian lady I work with, brainwashed by the lies. I agree with you, Greg, when you get upset. Yeah. It's reality, man. And you know, Rainwater, you're in Seattle, Washington, huge populations there of Russians and Ukrainians. There, Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, Oregon, or Vancouver, Washington. Sorry, that's across the Columbia River. Eric Wood, God bless you. Checking in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Ted Link, love your comment, buddy. God bless Ukraine with victory and peace. Amen. Deb Erskine checking in there, looking for some truth. Definitely going to give that. Ricochet, God bless you down there in Florida. Todd Ragland, God bless you. I'll tell you, Washington State is representing tonight, folks. Other states and countries, we better pick it up because Washington State is in the house. That would be Longview, Washington. Nate Fody, welcome, my man. What a morning. Putin was so confusing. Also in the Ukrainian parliament said, it isn't what he said, it's what he did not say. Oh, I'm going to break that down for you guys. You're going to enjoy that. I've got video of everything. Judy Dallinghouse, God bless you. Rick Berry, Slava Ukraina, as always. Yes, President Zelensky's response and put out fantastic. Reading some post about a secret mobilization should be interesting in the next couple of days. Ricochet, that's why you have joined this family. I'm going to show you the document tonight. Love it. You're right, buddy. Rogammon, Midlothian, Virginia. Don Gentilini, as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for your care. God, was you? Oh, man. Hey, man. Rainwater. Thank you, sir. If he can't watch it live, he watches the replay. Rainwater is a streamer out in Washington State that I made a relationship with through a friendship through my broadcast guy, Stephen Haywood. So thank you for that. Medic Trevor, hola. Ruby Davis, God bless you. Jennifer Grover, God bless you. Notice Gerasimov was ironically missing from the day's activities. That is correct. Some people got a red spray tan. Yes. I don't even have time to show that. I've got so much video that we could watch until tomorrow, but I do not have enough time to show everything. But yes, a Russian ambassador in Poland got a red present of paint. I'm sure a lot of you saw that on your regular news. PK is here, Pennsylvania here, along with Poltava, Ukraine. Yes. Slava Ukraina, Gerum Slava, Slava Bogu, Pali Bomavova. Datisha. Ты гонишь, брат. Вы здесь, потому что мы знаем, будет истина и правда. Slava Ukraina. Okay, enough of that. Vova, I know you're smiling. Speaking to you. Nathan Wright, God bless you. Barbara Roth, you're a shadow watcher. Been here in the shadows. Texas in the house. They canceled the air show due to the weather, but looked okay during the parade. Yes, it did. In fact, folks, JDO messaged me on the IA group and said, hey, do you have the link where we can watch the stream? I did. I sent it to him. Wilberforce, appreciate that. Time for Greg's Nightly Hole in One. How do you know I'm a golfer, Wilberforce? You must have some kind of ESP. Vova in English is Bob. Yes. Paul Kiss, our original Canadian Pennsylvania. Okay, folks, we're loaded up, giving it plenty of time. Yes, last night I did stay up until 4 a.m. and I watched the, I mentioned it once when commenting. I watched the stream live, watched the entire thing. I was looking for anything I could find, and I did find some interesting things in the speech. More like things the way they were communicated versus direct statements. I have that at the end of the hour. I'm going to play it for you, and we'll do a little bit of analysis on that. But folks, that was just a very little bit. In fact, Jania and I were up. Of course, he was in Germany. He's had the advantage on me there. Now, how could I stay up to 4 a.m.? Well, I have to give a shout out to my daughter, Annie, in Mexico. Of course, she's 3 hours behind. Well, I can stay up anyway for days. But also my gaming partners, Cameron, and his name's Trash Panda. And then we've got Guzman. And then occasionally we got James Bond, Jeremy from down in Tennessee. They knew I needed to stay up till 4. So Annie was in there with me, of course, on Mexico time, and she played with me right up to the time. Actually, it was 3 a.m. Played with me right up to the time. I didn't go to bed till 4:30. I watched the entire 90 minutes of the parade and everything. So big shout out to Annie for keeping me awake. The squad. So big shout out. Yes, for all of you out there, and especially you Rainwater Games. I'm a Warzone player. All right, enough of that. So, folks, 75 V-Day in Russia. Yesterday was V-Day in Europe, V-Day in Ukraine. Lots of video, but let's start right here tonight. We're now going to pick the pace up, and it's going to be nonstop. We're going to start with Jania and a van update. We'll go quick on this one. I know you're on a low data mode right now on your phone. You're still in Germany. Today was a big day. And I will be basically spending the entire program tonight explaining Victory Day. I've got Boris Johnson. I've got Vladimir Putin. I've got all the fake rallies throughout Ukraine. I've got Lukashenko, the crazy guy in Belarus. I've got it all. And we've been working to translate. We've got everything ready to go. Going to be an awesome program so people can get some insight. But before we do that, we know we're hunting a van, and let me say it this way, what was meant for evil will be turned for good.
Okay. I want to share the story.
Please share the story and then get some sleep.
So we were driving about 3 hours one way because we got a good offer, let's say, and from one, here they call it Auto House.
Mm-hmm.
The place where they sell
a car dealership. Yes.
They selling the cars.
Mm-hmm.
So we got confirmation about the condition, everything, the price. So we finally got to the place.
And this is in Germany?
Yes, it's in Germany.
Okay.
And not far from Osnabrück city.
Okay.
And then
also the money needed to purchase the van is available. We've made the transfer from all the support here in the United States through the church and this program. You have the cash or the money available electronically. So you go to the Auto House. Okay.
And we started to talk, and we checked the vehicle outside and checked the other. I mean, some parts, everything okay. Then we discussed the price. We got understanding, got to understanding each other, in agreement. And then we had a test drive with
Yes.
that German
The salesman.
manager, the salesman. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and then I don't know what has happened, and
You made the decision to
we
buy the van.
we made a decision to buy a van,
Okay.
and then that man, like something has happened with him. He said, "I don't want to sell this car to you." And we started to ask you what's wrong with that. Like, what do you mean by that? I did share that we are volunteers and we buy this car. It will be used on an
The war zone.
important job. Yes. And he said, I don't want to sell this car for you. Um, just don't want. And we were trying to figure out what's wrong. He said, no problem. Just it's my decision. I just don't want.
Now,
Then
now
we
at this point in the day, which was hours ago, you messaged me. We were talking on the phone, and you said we're buying this van, and then you called back and said this guy will not sell the van to us. So I gave you the good advice to go above his head, go to the owner, go to the manager. That didn't work out. So I gave you the second advice to beat him, and you didn't take that. Praise God. So what unfolds next?
So we decided to get advice from local people, and we found some man like through other men, like let's say the friend, and we shared the story. He said, "Okay, I know the place. Yeah, sometimes it happens like this. No explanations. Just this is reality." And in Germany, it's like that. It
Right.
sometimes happens. Like, I mean,
Germany's
there
a
is some
unique place.
there is the principles, and sometimes if you don't know these principles, you have to be like. So he said, "Okay, I will try
Wait a second.
to help."
Wait a second. Do you remember when you and I took our first trip to Germany?
Yeah, I think so.
And do you remember that I was sleeping and all of you started
Yes.
putting makeup on my face and lipstick and destroying me?
No, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't? And then do you remember when we were sleeping, you would put sugar in my clothes and you put sticks in my pillows? Do you remember all that?
I remember that Pastor Greg, who came to preach the gospel in Germany, to Ukraine and to Germany, he was playing some kind of jokes with the other pastor by hiding his cell phone, then pretending that he knows nothing about that, and then making these simple, trusted people to pray about this phone. And in the middle of that prayer, jumped up, lift up the hands and said, "Hallelujah, God answers the prayers." So I remember that part quite well. It was in the train, and then we decided a little bit to pay back just the part. I mean, we
Yeah.
had to pay back a bill, just a little bit.
We have fond memories of Germany. So anyway,
Yes.
this salesman, no good. And then you contact the local. He says, this is how this
He
place
said,
feels.
he says, he said that tomorrow call me in the morning. We'll try to do something. Then he calls back. He said that he did call to his friends, and there is an offer which, like, I mean, at this moment it sounds incredible. So tomorrow morning we go there to check, and it looks like that God can turn the bad things and that situation into the good and absolutely great, let's say.
So the van we
I-
were
I-
looking at and getting ready to buy was a what 20 what year?
No, less.
No,
The one.
20,
Okay, it was the one we wanted to buy was 2014
right?
with a good mileage, but the offer we got, it was 2019, and so
And almost
in the morning.
very, very low miles on it. So,
Yes, much better. Let's. I want to see it, and I want
yes.
to. I mean, to send a video or go live and
Oh,
send this. The God is faithful. He is
hmm,
faithful anyway.
yes.
It's, but I want to see. I mean, in that situation as well. I mean,
Well, tomorrow,
yes.
we'll have an update on that. I'll probably talk to you
Mm-hmm.
before I go to sleep tonight, as we always do usually. So, get you some rest. That's the update for today. Don't want to take too much of your time. And
And
yes,
one more thing.
okay.
We decided to leave one car in the place, to not to drive. Two cars just in without any like without need having two cars. So we decided to leave one car in the parking. Um, and um,
So you and Andrew
and
went
while
there.
we were.
People don't understand. You
Okay,
drove
okay,
your
sorry for
van
that.
there, correct?
Yes,
But
and Andrew, he
Andrew
was
bought a van
praying
also.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he bought a van, and he's selling his car, and he wanted to have a van, and he didn't expect that he will find a really good price and the same van he wanted. So
Okay.
he bought it. So we decided to leave his van there, and we renting the room in a private house for this night, and it was a kind of situation in last 7 minutes probably of driving. Some car were following us. And we started to think. I mean, by that it's like it's not in the big streets. It's like a Corby road and so on. We started to think when we turned a few times. I mean, really. I mean, in narrow roads and the streets, and these cars were still following us.
Uh huh.
Then we started to think that it's police, and then we did stop, and then the car stops from the left side of us, and then the driver starting to speak German to us, and I said that we don't speak German. Then he started to speak pure Russian, and then I said okay, and he started to ask, "What are you doing here?" I said, "We are looking for some address." He said, "What for?" I said, "This is, maybe I can help." And I said, "We are looking for some place. It's a private guest house, and we did rent it through the booking system." He said, okay, okay. I said, "Why you ask, and where are you from? Why, how do you know the Russian?" He said, "Because I'm Russian." And I said, "Okay, and what do you think about the war?" He said, "I don't like war," and he immediately became mad and left us. So we, I don't know, I don't know what's going on, but
He-
you see, it's a weird situation, I tell you.
Here's what I know: get that van and get back to Ukraine.
Yes. No, it seems to me Ukraine is a safe place.
The war zone's a safe place. Oh my
Sorry for that.
goodness!
Yeah, like yes, surely it's a like joke from
It's a
one
joke,
side
of
from
course, but we have to smile
yeah,
some.
yeah.
Well, bud,
So
we look
yes,
forward to hearing the completion of the miracle tomorrow. That's what we believe.
yeah,
So we are through
okay.
all of this madness looking at potentially moving from a 2014 to a 2019 with
At
lower
this
miles
moment,
and
At this moment, we're going from 2002.
Correct. The van's 2002 to 2019.
Yeah, with the third engine, yes.
Well, we're very happy. I'm sure everybody's happy to hear that tonight. And thanks for jumping on here a moment. It's time to roll on, buddy. We're going to get into what actually happened today on Victory Day. Crazy. Let's roll.
Yeah,
all right, buddy.
It was a day. Okay.
There you have it, folks. That was the chat with him. And Medic Trevor, you figured it out. That's exactly what we talked about, but we didn't put it on camera. It was afterwards. He thought, very interesting. That was somebody that was no bueno. Because in their vans, they have humanitarian, they have the Ukrainian flags. They have, of course, driving around the Ukrainian driver's license on the vehicle. So that's exactly, you figured it out. What's up, Mark Rime, Mary Preston? That's exactly what Jania and Andrew were thinking. So we've come, it looks like in the morning, we're going to make it happen. So let's get to it, folks, because we're getting ready to cook. Here we go. Buckle your seatbelts. I'm just making sure I'm on the right thing over here. Buckle your seatbelts. Here we go. This is Greenville, Pennsylvania, where our Ukrainian refugees are. And Ms. Denise sent me that picture and said, you know what's so beautiful? I could not but help send it today with the flags flying. So always remember, if you have pictures, please send them in. Now, we're going to play a game tonight while we're going through all of this. And a lot of this is going to be sad, but a lot of it's going to be very entertaining. Just unbelievable what you're going to see over the next 33 minutes. So we're going to start with a game tonight. We're going to start with a game. The game tonight is this. Can you guess the city? Today, Victory Day, this happened in a city. Can you guess which city this was? Notice all the flags. Glory to Russia. All right, that's enough of it. So there you have it. That is a city. And in the chat there, I'll let you guess where that took place at. Kherson, no. Berlin, no. Kharkiv, no. You ready for this one? Hint number one. It is not in Ukraine, and it is not in Russia. But it is such an important city that could come into play any day now. That is your hints. And I will tell you this. On that spot right there, I have stood many, many times on that exact spot. Not Ukraine, not Russia, not Germany. Keep guessing. Folks, so a couple of interesting things before we get to the video. Poland, no. Turkey, no. Good guessing, though. This is fun. EU is negotiating to ease its sixth package of sanctions. Everything tonight is revolving around Victory Day in Russia. Interesting that on Victory Day, the EU begins to negotiate amongst themselves not to increase sanctions. Budapest, Warsaw, Moldova, Minsk, Moldova. Folks, that was Kishinev, Moldova. Remember, we've been talking each night about the Transnistria region between Ukraine and Moldova, and they're stirring the pot over there. Well, that was Kishinev, Moldova. Correct. The Central Park, right downtown. All right, you got it, Moldova. So interesting today, as well as that's happening in Moldova, EU negotiating. Now listen, not to increase, but to ease the sixth package of sanctions. They're having problems with Hungary. Hungary will not agree to anything because basically their prime minister, they're allies. I mean, it's hard to say they're allies, but they're buddies, and they're not going to surrender their viewpoint. So, and of course, I mean, Hungary needs fuel, but we have to look at the bigger picture. So Hungary's going to oppose it. EU negotiating to ease sanctions so that Russian oil can be transported with European ships. Remember, it's the oil. It's paying for this war a lot. Secondly, on the same day, and we knew this was coming, President Biden signed the bill reviving the World War II Lend-Lease program for Ukraine. Now it is official. Of course, all over the world they were saying it was official when the House or Senate did it, but if you're an American, you know that the president has to sign it. So it was signed today. Volodymyr Zelensky replied, I want you to see that, grateful to the president, American people for supporting Ukraine in the fight for our freedom and future. Today's signing on the law on Lend-Lease is a historic step. I'm convinced that we will win together again, referring back to World War II, and defend democracy in Ukraine and in Europe like 77 years ago. Not the same as Lend-Lease as World War II. No, not exactly the same, but we'll take it. It's a step in the right direction because actually these are all little things that are just pushing Vladimir Putin's buttons. And when I play the speech for you at the end, just a few minutes of it, you will understand why this is important. There is a reason for everything we're building on today. Here's the next thing. I can tell you 100% that 85 out of 90 howitzers are in Ukraine. And not only are they in Western Ukraine now, but some of them are already on the lines of battle. I have a little video clip I'm going to show for you here. The first part of it shows the training that the Ukrainian soldiers have been getting. And then the second little bit of the video you're going to see is actually from a dug-in position on the front where you see the Ukrainians working together to use the howitzers. Here we go. This is these guys in action. This is the training. It's actually some Americans there doing that training. I added a little flair. Now here's in battle. Of course, they're slower. They're figuring it out. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Pick up the pace. Boom. So I can tell you 100% some of those weapons are active on the battlefield now, and Ukraine will get better and better with using them. Next, somebody was talking earlier in the chat. It might have been Ricochet, how that he saw somewhere that there was some mobilization going on. Of course, Vladimir Putin said nothing about it. Nobody has said nothing, but I can tell you right now, the document you're looking at right there is a draft mobilization notification in the city of St. Petersburg. This is a big deal. I'm reading it for you. At the top, the date is May the 17th, 20, and they made it 22. At 10 in the morning, they have to report the city, St. Petersburg, the address, below that, the mobilization order, and then the official stamp and signature. These have hit young men's hands in St. Petersburg, and that's a fact. Secondly, in this Victory Day deal, Ukraine is given a warning. This was actually from the Deputy Defense Minister, Anna Malyar. She said Russia has fired about half of the national supply, and let's be honest, the known national supply of missiles at Ukraine. But be aware, Russia has further capacity and a known supply of components and materials needed to produce new inventory, meaning the sanctions aren't going to stop them. This is a chart and a diagram of the different missiles that Russia has. The ones that they have been firing is basically the four little ones on the left. And of course, the first green one on the left would be, I'll make it a little bigger for you, is the Iskander. So this is a lot of on the far left, these types of cruise missiles that Russia has been firing. So she came out with a warning and she said, listen, I'm telling you, they have more resources. We need to stay on our toes. Now, I want to lay a little bit of data on you. Oh, this is cool. All right, we got the guys laying info on us. They'll get faster, but the faster you shoot, the more you wear the barrel. Waiting on impact correction. We get smart guys in here. No, it was not. That was 100% accurate. Confirmed from St. Petersburg in his hand. In fact, you guys want inside info? Ready? I know for a fact from sources that are 100% personal that mobilization is happening in Russia right now. That date is accurate, and I know for a fact that young guys are being called up right now. Deb Erskine, I think my husband authored some safety manuals for the howitzer. He's retired Army infantry. Thank him for his service. Awesome. Now, I want to go back to this chart right here. Take a look. Folks, when you hear the stuff out there that says, well, this is all Russian area, whether it's in that Donbass region or wrapping around to the south, and on the map here, you guys know the map well by now. This is the Kherson Oblast, just north of Crimea. This is completely occupied, and this is actually a strategic point of central operations for the Russian invasion in the southern front. Now, I want to give you some stats. According to the last census, look at the numbers. Kherson Oblast, 77.8% Ukrainian. It's not language. Not language. But nationality. Ukrainian. 17% Russian. And then you get into some fractional percentages of Belarusian, Moldovan, Crimean, Tatar, and others. That is the makeup. But here's the problem. 45% released today by Ukraine. 45% of the Kherson region population has fled. There's only 55% of the population left in Kherson. Now, with that said, that's some of the facts behind the real numbers of Ukraine versus Russian. And we're not talking about language. We're talking about ethnicity. We're talking about the nationality of where these people are from. They're Ukrainian. They are occupied. Now, here is what is interesting. I'm going to show you the first video for tonight, and we're going to base it off of this Kherson. I've put together 3, 4, 5 clips of celebrations, victory celebrations that Russia did today in Ukrainian occupied territories. Let's look at a couple. I have the city for you in the upper right-hand corner. First one, Mariupol. This is Mariupol. Mariupol. Folks, there's nobody there. This is such a joke. This is Kherson. This is the cat that's running the Kherson Oblast now. Look, the swarming crowds. So, oh, congratulations, congratulations. Huge celebration. You see there? Just huge. I can tell you, this video is going back to Russia and going to be propaganded to death. Look at this massive parade. 300 people. Kherson. That is correct. These people were paid in food, water. You're right. Just wait. You're going to see something shocking. There you go. Kherson. We're giving the bread and porridge away. Please come out. This celebration is wonderful. Oh, it's so great. We get hot oatmeal. It's such a celebration we've never had before. Oh, this is so cool.
Каша отличная, полевая, настоящая. Я очень рада, что мой дедушка наконец-то увидел флаг победы на флагштоке.
This is our victory.
Он долго его не видел.
Energodar. They're watching the Putin speech. He's up on the big screens. You see the people are bowing. Maybe 200? 300? Energodar. This is just a massive parade. Let's see. Oh yeah, oh yeah. 300-400 people. Yeah. How about this one? You want to see madness? Lugansk. They did fireworks tonight.
Фунду долой! Смерть фашизму! СССР Родина!
Мы здесь белые русские люди, белая русская нация. Мы за землю, за Донбасс, за Россию, за святую землю. Наши предки всю жизнь воевали на свободу. И здесь народ собрался не за деньги, а за свободу.
Но он тебе не родственник?
You do not even have to be able to understand the language to see that that was a joke. That was an absolute joke. Yeah, they're all older folks. It's sad. How about Boris Johnson's comments? Because today we're finishing up this, and listen, things will adjust. And I'm going to tell you why they've already adjusted in just a moment. Here was Boris Johnson's statement.
As we celebrate victory over fascism in the Second World War, a great European nation is fighting for survival against a brutal invasion. And I'm honoured to take this opportunity to emphasise once more the United Kingdom's unflinching support for the brave people of Ukraine. They ask for nothing except to live in peace and freedom in their own land, which is the right of every country. And all nations that believe in this right and want it for themselves share an obligation to stand with Ukraine against Vladimir Putin's aggression. In the 75 days since the onslaught began, Ukrainians have fought back with dauntless strength and courage, repelling the Russian assault on Kiev, derailing Putin's invasion plan, and showing the world that no amount of force can overcome a people determined to be free. We in the United Kingdom have been proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with our Ukrainian friends from the very beginning, supplying Javelin and N-Law missiles to defend against tanks, Starstreak missiles to protect against air attack, Brimstone to guard against the threat from the sea. And now we're sending armoured vehicles and advanced radars to locate the heavy artillery pounding Ukraine's cities. We've also provided over £1 billion of economic support, along with ambulances, medical supplies, and humanitarian aid. And we have condemned Putin's war of choice in the United Nations and every other international forum, joined by scores of countries from across the world. And when this agony is over, Britain will help Ukraine to rebuild and defend itself from any future aggression. On this anniversary, I have never been more certain that Ukraine will win. Ukraine will be free, and a sovereign Ukraine will rise again, and Britain will be with you for as long as it takes. Thank you, and Slava Ukraini.
So there you have it, folks. Now, what you have to remember is this is all on the day that Vladimir Putin made his statements and the huge parades happened in Moscow. I'm going to show you them in just a moment, and that's what we're going to close with. But these world leaders have come out and made their statements. Boris Johnson comes out and says, Ukraine's going to win. And then you see these. I didn't even have to tell you guys or translate anything for you to know that the things that were happening in Ukraine were just a setup and a joke. Now, I'm going to show you some reality this morning. Now, this happened this morning early in Russia. There was a young lady protesting the war. I just want you to see what happens inside Russia right now. This is legit. This was today. And this little girl's sign is going to say, against war.
Екатеринбург, площадь 1905 года, пикет за мир, и сразу же подходят сотрудники полиции.
Russian citizen pulling her passport. That's absolutely a Russian passport. 100%. Still holding her sign.
Это Александр Борисенко. 24 февраля его задержали за призыв к несогласованному политическому
I want you to check out the level of the paddy wagon.
Протеста за мир. Он написал в своем твиттере, где и когда должны собраться люди.
I believe that was left over from MASH, and Radar had it repainted so that they could use it. I think MASH left that. That looks like the Shaggy Mobile. It's repainted. So, one little girl holding a sign put in the paddy wagon on Victory Day. Now, we have to pay attention. What does Lukashenko say on Victory Day? Are those police, I assume? Yes, they were police. She's being made an example. That's correct. Same demonic spirit in Germany 80 years ago. Correct. Let's get that van to genius. Jeff, U.S. sent 60,000 Stingers as per Biden. Why are the Ukrainians on the front line still complaining they have nothing? Because they haven't gotten there yet. They're stuck in Western Ukraine, and they're stuck in Poland. The only thing I can tell you is on the front line 100% is those howitzers. So Alexander Lukashenko comments on Victory Day. I've got a little bit of this translated for you. This dude is interesting.
Западный мир воюет против России в Украине, а нас упрекают в том, что мы поддерживаем Россию. Одумайтесь, ни юридически, ни морального права белоруссы не имеют права не поддерживать Россию. Мы всегда были вместе, мы всегда были едины. И что бы вы ни делали, какие бы стрелы ни бросали в нашу сторону, у вас не получится нас разорвать на куски и разъединить.
I have actually figured it out now. So what we have, if we go to World War II similarities, you've got Putin, who's Hitler, and you've got Lukashenko, who's Mussolini. There you have it. And that's Belarus. So if you see things out there that Lukashenko is wavering in his support of Russia and Belarus doesn't want anything to do with it, they just want to stay on the sidelines, it's not true, folks. Russian military, Russian arms are floating through Belarus. Ukraine is being struck from Belarusian territory in the southwest corner, because I'm not showing maps tonight, just showing video, southwest corner of Belarus. It's loaded with military and arms there in that upper Volyn area near Poland, Ukraine, in Russia. And today, that was just one little clip. It went on and on and on about how Belarus and Russia are one. Well, folks, now we come to the last few things I want to give to you. The first thing I'm going to show you is what happened inside Russia today. And then we're going to close with a few things that Vladimir Putin said. So I have shown what was inside Ukraine. Now I'm going to show, and I've got the cities up in the upper right-hand corner for you named. Here's what happened throughout some of the cities of Russia.
Вооруженных конфликтах. Вот и сейчас воины-уральцы с честью выполняют свой долг в ходе специальной военной операции. Музыкальное обеспечение.
I cut the audio on this because it would have been copyright hit. They were playing the radio in the car. Moscow, rolling the flags. Tumen. This is Central Russia. Paying tribute to the medics and the nurses.
Командир танкистов Датаева Рима Салиховна.
Train up our children with the Z's and the tanks.
За танкистами воздушный парад возглавляет группа из 4 самолетов в составе летчиков подготовительной группы «Капелька», ведущей группы старший летчик-испытатель Серикова Кристина Андреевна. В параде принимает участие санитарный батальон 2-й младшей группы «Семицветики». Возглавляет санитарный батальон начальник медицинского пункта Писарева.
So there you have just a little bit of the look inside of some Russian cities. Folks, honestly, I could have shown you every city. It's all the same. They're all marching. They have a little bit of military. The people are marching and doing their songs. Yeah, the 50s called. They want their uniforms back. Looks like a lot like North Korea. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Now, folks, this is what I want to close with. Absolutely heartbreaking. Here is a little bit of what Putin said. Now, I'll just let you read it. Here you go. This is what Putin said. Think about it. I think some of you guys earlier tonight in the chat said, it's not really what Putin said, it's what he did not say. 1984 called claims copyright infringement. Here's Moscow. Here's a little bit of what Vladimir Putin said. The speech was longer. He did talk about Nazi Germany. He talked about overcoming. In one point here, he even compliments the United States and Great Britain and China. But here you go. This is what I watched at 3:30 or 4 a.m.
В эти дни вы сражаетесь за наших людей на Донбассе, за безопасность нашей Родины, России. Россия всегда выступала за создание системы равной и неделимой безопасности. Системы, которая жизненно необходима всему мировому сообществу. В декабре прошлого года мы предложили заключить договор о гарантиях безопасности. Россия призывала Запад к честному диалогу, к поиску разумных, компромиссных решений, к учету интересов друг друга. Все напрасно. Страны НАТО не захотели нас услышать. А это значит, что на самом деле у них были совершенно другие планы. И мы это видели. В открытую шла подготовка к очередной карательной операции на Донбассе, к вторжению на наши исторические земли, включая Крым. В Киеве заявляли о возможном приобретении ядерного оружия. Блок НАТО начал активное военное освоение прилегающих к нам территорий. Таким образом, планомерно создавалась абсолютно неприемлемая для нас угроза. Причем непосредственно у наших границ. Россия дала упреждающий отпор агрессии. Это было вынужденное, своевременное и единственно правильное решение. Решение суверенной, сильной, самостоятельной страны. Соединенные Штаты Америки, особенно после распада Советского Союза, заговорили о своей исключительности, унижая тем самым не только весь мир, но и своих сателлитов, которым приходится делать вид, что они ничего не замечают, и покорно все это проглатывать. Но мы другая страна. У России другой характер. Мы никогда не откажемся от любви к родине, от веры и традиционных ценностей, от обычаев предков, от уважения ко всем народам и культурам. А на Западе эти тысячелетние ценности, судя по всему, решили отменить. Такая нравственная деградация стала основой циничных фальсификаций истории Второй мировой. Мы чтим всех воинов союзнических армий. Американцев, англичан, французов, участников сопротивления, отважных солдат и партизан Китая. Всех, кто разгромил нацизм и милитаризм. Уважаемые товарищи, сегодня ополченцы Донбасса вместе с бойцами армии России сражаются на своей земле. Вы сражаетесь за Родину, за ее будущее, за то, чтобы никто не забыл уроков Второй мировой, чтобы в мире не было места палачам, карателям и нацистам. Гибель каждого нашего солдата и офицера – это горе для всех нас и невосполнимая утрата для родных и близких. Государства, регионы, предприятия, общественные организации сделают все, чтобы окружить заботой такие семьи, помочь им. Особую поддержку окажем детям погибших и раненых боевых товарищей. Указ президента об этом сегодня подписан. Мы помним, как враги России пытались использовать против нас банды международных террористов. Стремились посеять национальную и религиозную вражду, чтобы изнутри ослабить, расколоть нас. Ничего не получилось. Сегодня наши бойцы разных национальностей вместе в бою прикрывают друг друга от пули осколков, как родные братья. И в этом сила России, великая, несокрушимая сила нашего единого многонационального народа. Сегодня вы защищаете то, за что сражались отцы, деды, прадеды. Для них высшим смыслом жизни всегда были благополучие и безопасность Родины.
Well, folks, there you have it. That is what I stayed up all night to watch. Did you catch the things he said? A couple of things, and I was watching your guys' chats during it. Yeah, it's interesting. Here's what I want to say. It's unfortunate because I've been all over that square many, many times, and I'm going to tell you a couple of things. That square called Red Square, right there you have four things. It's in the middle of the Kremlin on one side. On the other side is the GUM shopping mall, one of the most expensive, high-level shopping malls in the world. At the other end is the famous church, St. Basil's Cathedral, and at the back end is the Russian Historical Museum. A couple of things there. Over on the right by the Kremlin, that is where Lenin's mausoleum is. Yes, I've been through it many times to look. Couldn't help it. But something else you may not know, Red Square. Why is it Red Square? Oh, those commies. No, that's not what it means. Red Square actually means beautiful plaza, beautiful square. And I have to say, that ranks up there as one of the most beautiful places in the world. Red Square, I can't talk about this with Janian here with me, but Red Square is beautiful. Unfortunately, there's just a spirit there of evil. So he talked about equality. In December, our security was compromised, and nobody would agree with us with the talks, of course, because you wanted Ukraine to give up its weapons and to just give their land away. NATO doesn't listen. We're doing an invasion on our lands. I hate to give you guys a history lesson tonight, but I'm sorry to tell you that Russia was actually born out of an area called Kiev Rus. You can look it up in your history books. That would have been about the 11th century. And from that whole Rus moved up into the Moscow region. But it started in Kiev Rus. It was the right decision to attack. We show we're a strong country. The United States, they're exceptionalist, them and their satellites. The West is canceling everything of our greatness. We cannot have all this movements on our borders. We have defeated in the past the Nazism and the militarism. So thank you to the US and Britain and France and China. But now we're going to do the same in Ukraine when actually they're the ones that are Nazis and are militarized. So folks, that's what you have. Took an hour tonight to share with you the update. And is Russia Babylon? Do not know. Lenin not look so good. That's 30 years plus. They don't. I'm just checking your chats before I get out of here. Russia defending their ego. Absolutely. 100% defending their ego. But with that said, folks, here's the last thing I'm going to leave you with and say, okay, PG, why was this so important? Because there's another part of that, and I just couldn't show it all or we'd be here forever. But there was another part before President Putin made his speech. He actually took flowers and he walked over to a memorial. And there in Red Square, I'll tell you, I've already told you the layout of it, but over against the wall of the Kremlin are monuments to all the famous cities that have historical significance throughout the Soviet Union. And on them, it's a beautiful little marker, and then there's an eternal flame. And many of these cities, for example, Leningrad, which is St. Petersburg. There's a monument or a marker to Stalingrad. Of course, you know World War II history. Of course, Moscow. But folks, there also is the marker to Kyiv. And beside Kyiv is the marker to Odessa. And today, Vladimir Putin went and he laid beautiful flowers on the marker of Kyiv. And then he went and he walked over to the marker of Odessa. They handed him flowers, and he laid flowers on the marker to Odessa. And I'm not saying the exact second, but on the same day, at the same time, this morning, Ukraine, Russia time, as he was laying flowers on the Odessa marker, 7 cruise missiles were flying from Kherson, Crimea, and ships in the Black Sea, and were demolishing the same city that he was honoring. That's the problem. Clueless. And the world, we better pay attention, because today we're now past Victory Day. Now what do we look forward to? What are we going to be listening for? What's going to happen next? I can tell you what's going to happen next. NATO's going to continue to ship in weapons, and we're going to get them out of the West somehow and get them to the front lines. And folks, as the Defense Secretary of Ukraine, the assistant today, warned, do not take these guys lightly. The next few days are going to be very, very significant to where we go in the future. Day 75, that's the update. That's Victory Day. Thank you guys for being here tonight. It was a good hour. I'm happy we could put together all the video, the translations, and give you a peek and some concepts inside of this war. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord bless Ukraine. Sweden announced NATO membership. Yeah, they are making some decisions. The date is May the 15th. That's when they're doing that. And of course, these are the things that he talked about in his speech. The border is getting tougher. All right, guys, we love you. May the Lord bless you, keep you, cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you, give you peace. Peace to Ukraine. Peace to the world. Good night. See you in 23 hours. Have a great evening.